Good evening. Hello and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Jeff. I will be the keeper of arcane lore for our game this evening. I am joined by 80% of our usual crew. I'm joined by Steam Chew,
Hello.
who is playing Roland Billio. We are joined by Sarah J,
Hi.
playing Nancy Sutherland. We are also joined by the One-Winged Angel,
Hello.
playing Maya Havdat, and Brian Croy Dragon,
Hello.
playing Edward Beatty. The Dark Lord Richard is away from us this evening. I believe he's gone to a place called Manchester. Anybody ever heard of it?
Nah, never heard of it. No. I think he's had a lovely time on trains today.
Somewhat appropriate, I think, to be honest. If I'm honest, that's not too far away from what we're on tonight. So, without further ado, we are here with our Horror on the Orient Express campaign. One-Winged Angel, I believe you're giving the recap for this evening, so please take it away.
So yes, from what I remember of the end of the one beforehand, everyone had been to the asylum to try and find out who was in the cell, and it turned out to be Fenelek or something.
You suspect, you didn't confirm that, you suspect it.
And Maya had been camping out in the Louvre after Major Mercy had found a creepy painting. So anyway, Maya rejoined the party at their hotel. The party discussed sending Maya undercover into the asylum, whether that be as a charity worker or looking for a lost relative or something. Maya was reluctant to do this, but instead they remembered that they had found out about Fenelek's old estate, which was in the town of Poissy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they travel to Poissy, split up. Maya, Roland, and Edward go to the hotel, whereas Major Mercy and Nancy go to the town hall. At the hotel, the three there discover that Fenelek was involved with a scandal with the Queen. Sorry, I'm just trying to read my own handwriting here. But no one had actually heard of the Count, and it's suspected that he killed the prince. But this was all hearsay. At the town hall, Major Mercy and Nancy span a tale about looking for property for a member of the royal family. Found out that there's no mansion where the Fenelek estate used to be, but managed to get the floor plans and address, and it apparently belongs to Dr. Lorien.
Yep.
We go to the house, which is kind of around the estate. It's surrounded by brick walls which are covered in rose bushes. The doctor greets us, and his daughter's very taken with Roland. The doctor has a scar on his left hand, which apparently came from the roses. The wife is bedridden with arthritis in the left arm. The doctor had received a letter from Edgar Wellington looking for the Sedefkar Simulacrum?
Sedefkar Simulacrum. Yeah. I don't know why they made it that difficult to say because it comes up a lot, but yes, you can just call it the statue if you want.
Yeah,
the evil
I've got
statue.
It down as SS in my notes, but
yeah, the evil statue.
While we're discussing this, the daughter bumps Roland, spilling the lukewarm coffee onto her left arm, and scalds herself, but the coffee's not actually that hot. They went to see an opera singer in Paris, Catalina Cavaliero.
Yep.
The doctor sends his daughter to bed after the whole coffee incident. She comes down during dinner saying she's seen a scary face in the window, and the party kind of go to investigate, but find nothing. we at some point look on the floor plans of the mansion, and the doctor says, "Oh, I think that it could be here because there's no basement in their current house." But it's late, so we go just have a look down at the roses in the garden, which, when cut, kind of give off a dark black fluid. We dig into the next morning. We kind of dig into where we think the basement is and find a door, and we find a network of tunnels down there, which are covered in what look to be plant roots, which all end up looking like hands. As we explore, there are various rooms that lead off in the corridor we're heading down, which some have skeletons in. One has a skeleton that is in a red dress that looks like the picture of the Queen in the Louvre was wearing, but turned out to be the skeleton of a man. We found another room which was full of torture implements and a sofa for some reason. Then at the end of the tunnel there was a dim light which turned out to be roses. Maya kind of goes off ahead of the rest of the party to see lots of bodies entwined in these roses and a porcelain hand. Maya works her way through the vines and collects the hand, and as soon as the hand is retrieved, the roses start to decay. After that, the doctor promises he'll seal up this weird cavern underneath his house. We head back to Paris and board the Orient Express. We join the opera singer for a meal and drinks. She gives us a performance and gives us front row tickets to our show in a few days' time. I believe that's everything.
That is pretty much everything, yes. So this is your first night aboard the Orient Express. After the drinks with Caterina Cavallero, after the performance, it's probably getting on for like 2 a.m., 2 o'clock in the morning, and you all retire to your rooms. And even though, like first night in a new bed is always like the hardest, you are lulled to sleep by the gentle rocking of the train as it journeys through the Alps. I put the Orient Express map up very quickly. So you are currently... I should really move the characters to place that map as well rather than just... There we go. So you are currently leaving Paris on your way to Lausanne, there to meet Edgar Wellington, who sent the letter to Dr. Lorien. And I can put up the map of the train itself where you are. If this looks familiar, this is the same map I used for the 1893 campaign. So we had Nancy Sutherland, Maya Havdat in one berth.
Wait, is this actually the same train? Is Edward going to be able to find the graffiti that...
No, I did think about that. I did think about doing that, but the carriages are different. Whereas the carriages in the old train were made of wood and like maroony in colour, these are more like wood and steel, and they're painted in blue and white. So it's not the same train, but very well remembered. That's yeah. So Edward and we got Nancy and Maya in one cabin, Edward and Ron in another cabin, and Major Mercy bagged a single cabin for himself. Now, say you're all lulled to sleep by the rocking of the train. You find yourselves walking down a cobbled street, obviously through some sort of town. Around you, mist veils the scene, but you can just make out lights, you can just make out buildings, you can just make out old-fashioned buildings, really. Sort of old peaked roofs, upper floors that overhang lower floors, numberless chimney pots. Behind you, if you turn around to look behind you, there's like a stream with a stone bridge going across it. Even though it is obviously late at night, there's still some activity. You can hear the tink, tink, tink of a blacksmith. You can smell the smell of fresh bread from a baker's. And everywhere you look, there are cats. In amongst all the townsfolk, there are cats everywhere. And they all seem, and a number of them seem to be moving in one direction away from you down the road that you're currently on. They're moving away from you down the road as if they're going somewhere. The four of you do see each other. Turn around and you see Major Mercy, but Major Mercy seems very, very faint, almost transparent, ghostly-like, as if he's not fully there. What would you like to do? The last thing you remember, you were asleep on the train.
Is anybody else ghost-like? Do we sort of see anybody else, or?
The only one you can see, you don't really recognise anybody else here. You recognise you four, the four of you, Edward, Maya, Roland, and Nancy. It's only Major Mercy who's ghost-like, as if he's not fully there.
Hmm.
You have to be careful where you step, so you don't step on any cats, because they are literally covering the every available surface you see cats.
Yeah.
And do the cats appear like normal? Are they trying to get out of our way or anything like that, or are they just?
Brian, you have cat. Does Alex try and get out of your way, or does he just like try and get in your way all the time?
Sometimes he doesn't even move.
These are just like normal cats, as far as you can see. Like, you know, people take care to walk past them. They go out of the way sometimes. They just sleep where they are.
Yeah, they're not doing anything out of the ordinary or seem particularly scared of us or anything like that.
No.
Maya's going to try and pick one of the cats up and make a fuss over it.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Make me a luck roll.
Oh dear, is this going to end up like the scene from Captain Marvel?
Yeah, the cat doesn't appreciate you trying to pick you up and like starts to try and scratch you. Not enough to like cause you like any major damage, but you do end up with some scratches on your hands.
I'm like, naughty kitty. Just scolding it, but thinking, oh, that's cute.
I don't think this is role playing anymore, Robin. This is just life, isn't it?
As you
and then I turn to Mercy and ask, are you alright there?
Doesn't really answer you. He's there, but not there. This is my interpretation of Richard not being here tonight, by the way.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah. As you draw near, the blacksmith stops his tink tink tink. He looks over to you. Ah, newcomers. Welcome. Come over here, please. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dimitri. I am the blacksmith of this city. Welcome to the city of Ulthar. City where no man may kill a cat.
What happens if someone tries to kill a cat?
Ah, well, you see, I should tell you the story. Many years ago, before we had this law, there was an old couple who used to live here. They lived by themselves. Nobody liked them, and cats never went near their place. Any cat who did disappeared, and the suspicion was that they were killing the cats. Anyway, one day, a travelling circus came to town, and there was this young boy. He had this little kitten who he adored, and of course the kitten escaped one night, found its way into this old couple's shack, and it was never seen again. And the little boy was very distraught, but he prayed to the gods, and the next night, every cat in the city surrounded the cottage. The next day, the cats were all back with their owners, looking very full, and no trace of the owners was ever found. No trace of that old couple was ever found, and since then the law is no man may kill a cat.
Interesting.
Sounds very good show.
But you, I see you are newcomers to this city. I see, your faces, your clothes. You are here for the Express, yes?
I believe we are on the Express.
Oh no. The Express. You have tickets for the Express, and you look down at your hat, and you look down at your hands, and you see that you are carrying flimsy little pieces of paper covered on the front and the back with writing. Someone care to read this one out? It is a train ticket with covered on front and back with writing.
I can. I don't mind. Human dreamers, or once human dreamers, whose walking self is now dead, may travel to the Dreamlands Express for free. In order journey on the Dreamlands Express, you must board while asleep on the Orient Express. Once you have slept on the Orient Express, you may return to the Dreamland Express at any time, from any bed in the waking world. Once you have boarded the Dreamland Express, you return to the same express, even days, weeks, or years have passed. You may use your ticket to journey between cities. The train serves Utah, Iliathleen, Zar, Apparat, Tharion, Dirk, Arik, Sonyanai, and Surin. You may stay on the train beyond Surin, but it's assumed that you wish to discard your fears in the go from Nodens. Beyond the Saran, there is no return. The journey's end, you will return to the waking world. After visiting the Gulf of Nodes, you cannot board the train again, even as a paying customer, as you negate the sacrifice you made. This bargain is made with the Nodens and is negligible.
Yes, you are.
All those words are negligible. I can't say.
Oh yes, you are here for the Dreamlands Express. Yes. He looks.
Yes, I've heard of it.
This is news to me. Where are any of these places? I've never heard of them.
Ah, you must be new. This is the cities far from here. The Express serves them, or trade goes between these cities, but it takes many days. The Dreamlands Express is a way to journey to these places very, very quickly.
But are these places on Earth?
Oh no! I see. No. You are in the Dreamlands now. This is the Dreamlands.
What are the Dreamlands?
They are a place where dreamers such as yourselves come to experience many wondrous things. There are many races, many beings who also live here. Call this place their home. We've had many famous people here in the past. But please.
Like who?
Now you there have been many. Some may not be familiar to you. There was one of our most famous is a man named Randolph Carter who journeyed here, but I see his name is not familiar to you. Never mind. You must hurry. The express will arrive soon if you wish to board it. Just follow the cats. And you suddenly see more cats are going down the cobbled road, and in the mist at the end of the road, you see what looks like an ivory archway. You are very fortunate people indeed. Very few people get the chance to board the Dreamlands Express.
How have we been chosen for this so-called honor?
I understand that in the waking world there is a train called the Orient Express, and those who journey on the Orient Express have the chance to enter the Dreamlands Express.
Is this everyone who uses the Orient Express?
I would not deign to say, but you would best ask the conductor of the Dreamlands Express for more information. I'm just a humble blacksmith. I only know about my city, and that is it.
I appreciate the information that you have given us. And then I start following the cats.
Yeah. Maya keeps trying to pet cats as they're walking along.
I'll say that some of them do warm up to you. Some of them just like bristle away and hiss at you, but As you travel down the road, the archway gets more and more in focus. You pass through the archway, and you find yourself. If you didn't know any better, you'd say it was a platform, a train platform. There is a sign alongside it saying Ulthar Station. You see many other people like yourselves standing there waiting, and at one end of the platform there's a little cordoned off area, and there are a number of cats there waiting patiently. There's like Siamese cats, tabby cats, big cats, small cats. You see a cat with a kitten, a little black kitten with white paws. He's busy nuzzling it. You see some interesting people on the platform as well. You see a rather portly man. You see he is wearing my notes. Here we are. You see he is wearing a travelling cloak. Clothes sort of like Scottish tweed. Probably not too far. Probably recognisable to some of you. The clothes, not the man. He is carrying a bulging briefcase, and you can see papers starting to bulge out of the briefcase. You can see a different man, a rather severe-looking man wearing black clothes. He has a very well-trimmed moustache and beard. He is standing near a huge trunk, a huge travelling trunk. You see a rather regal lady dressed in Elizabethan clothes with a ruff and a rather high hairstyle, and wimples coming down from it in like the Elizabethan style. You see many others as well. And they're all standing there waiting on this platform, waiting for the train to come.
Does it look like there'd be enough people to actually fit on like a normal train, what we know as a normal train?
Yes. You know that the Orient Express itself can handle like any number, dozens of passengers, and like carried dozens of passengers, and it seems that there are not as many here, but there are a good number. But it seems like a standard number of people waiting for the train.
Do we recognise anybody else from our train that we've maybe caught a glimpse of? Just getting on and off the...
Not really, no. Not here, at least.
No.
After a few moments, you're waiting on the train. You're expecting to hear the rumbling of a train coming into the platform. What you actually hear is a thump, 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 as if of a stampede, and the ground around you shakes and vibrates with each thump.
Can we spot where this thumping is coming from?
And it is coming from the far end of the platform.
And can we see what's making the thumping?
Through the mist comes, you see it, and is it an elephant? An octopus? Some kind of giant spider thing? All tentacles and eyes and mouths that open and shut, stomping along of dozens of stumpy lips that fold in and out of its body. You see tentacles writhing freely around its forward and its back, some coming into its body, some forming from its body, some withdrawing into its body. And then you see another one behind it. And then a third. And then a fourth. You see that they're each, where one beast comes in, another beast follows it. You see that tentacles join and twine, joining it from front to the back, joining it together. And as you watch, an entire caravan of these beasts, these grotesque beasts, emerges from the mist and rolls up to the platform. Atop the beasts, you see what look like grand pavilions, sitting on top like howlers on top of an elephant. You see bridges connecting one to another. And the whole the whole convoy of these beasts rumbles to a stop on the platform. As they stop, tentacles start to come out. You see luggage on the platform, piece of luggage on the platform. Tentacles coming out, taking up the luggage and putting it into the carriages. On the pavilion, from the pavilion in front of you, you see tentacles form at the top, intertwined together. Then more below it, go on down, making kind of a staircase. And as it makes a staircase, a red carpet unfolds itself and comes down to the ground. And at the top of this staircase, a figure appears wearing you didn't think it'd see any better. It was a uniform of blue trimmed with gold, wearing a blue and a gold cap. You see his hands, he's wearing white silk gloves on his hands, and half of his face is covered with a white porcelain mask. And he descends the staircase, and he comes to the platform, and he throws out his arms. Mesdames, Messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, Signore, Signore, ladies and gentlemen, Henri is here. And I would like to bid you bienvenue, willkommen, benvenuto, welcome to the Dreamland Express. My name is Henri Peters, and it will be my duty and my pleasure to see to your every need over our 3-day journey to the Gulf of Nodens. If there's anything you require, anything you need, please just call out, and Henri will be here.
Now, does Maya remember that name from reading the book?
Mm.
Yes, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. Yes.
Yeah.
I see we have new passengers aboard our train today. Please, welcome, mesdames, messieurs, welcome. My name is Henri Peters. I see you have your tickets with you. Are you intending to complete the full journey aboard the Dreamland Express?
I don't believe I want to go the full way tonight, but certainly to the next stop.
Mademoiselle. We are in the Dreamlands. Time is different here than the waking world. You could spend a week here and only an hour would pass in the waking world.
But
I would still say one stop would be better to get.
Yeah, just to see what's kind of going on. I'm still new to this world. I think I just want to try one stop and go to the next city tonight, if that is possible. Or on this journey, is that possible?
Oh, of course, mademoiselle. Yes, we are in the Dreamlands. You may choose to wake up at any time you wish, and when you fall back asleep, you will start on from where you left off. It is possible that I've seen passengers on this train who started the train and didn't come back for years later to finish it.
It is good to know we have so much choice. What are these creatures called?
They do not have a name. They are not from the Dreamlands of Earth. They are from the Dreamlands of a far distant planet, and it was a great struggle, a great burden to bring them here. I simply call the train Mimi.
Mimi.
Mimi, yes.
Oh. Do they like have? I'm really sorry, Jeff. I'm being really thick. So do they have like carriages on top of them, or is it like?
You got the beasts, and the carriages are on top of the beasts.
Right. Okay. So we do still have proper carriages.
Yes.
This is just very weird.
Welcome to the Dreamlands.
Excuse me, Mr. Henri. How do we board?
Please, up these stairs. Your luggage will be taken aboard. I'll show you to your cabins.
Do I have luggage?
Do you want to have luggage?
I was going to say, surely we've got the big chest that we got the arm in.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I want to have my luggage with me.
Here, and you turn around and you see your luggage there, being pulled on board the train.
I'm just speaking out of character, but perhaps the bad trip AI generated upper is starting to fit more and more.
Oh yeah.
I won't post them now, but I do have more pictures generated as well. So it may be very relevant.
You look around and you see the cats are all starting to board. Those people I mentioned before are starting to board the train. Henri
Do
says
all
to,
the other people look solid? Sorry, just thinking about Major Mercy. Do they all look
yeah,
like...
yes. They all
And is Major Mercy's ghost boarding with us as well?
yes.
Henri,
Are we
can
missing?
you explain what
Mademoiselle?
the deal with all the cats is? I've never seen so many in one place.
I'm sure you are aware of the Orient Express in the waking world. In order to make the journey across many countries, its founder George Nagelmackers was required to make certain agreements with the countries he passed through. Is that not the case? These
This is me assuming it is.
It is, yes. In order to make this train from here to the Gulf of Nodens, passing through all the cities, I had to make certain bargains myself. One of the bargain I made with Ulthar was that cats may ride at will at any time on the train without interference. And that was the easiest bargain I made. But for yourselves, it is not required that you make the full journey to the Gulf of Nodens. However, I would suggest that if you wish to, you have some sort of totem, something that encapsulates any fears or any burdens that you wish to leave behind. It can be anything. It can be a small thing. It can be anything that represents it. If you do not wish to make the trip to the Gulf of Nodens, that is absolutely fine. That is your choice. If you do, you wish to cast off your burdens, you can throw this totem into the Gulf of Nodens. However, once you do so, you may not ride this train again. That is the bargain I made with Nodens to be able to make this train. It is not something that is required now. Just at any point during your journey, you may do this.
Where are these places that we are traveling to?
I'll show you.
Henri?
Let's bring you to the map. And he explains to you that the Dreamlands are different to the waking world. The cities of the Dreamlands are varied. The inhabitants are varied. And he shows you. He shows you a map of the places where you'll be traveling to. And they are very different. Some of these cities, like Ulthar, are similar to what you know in the waking world. Some of them are very, very different. Some of them I do not recommend getting off the train at all.
So where would you recommend not getting off the train?
I will make it clear when we get there. But some of these places, Bazaar, Valarian, Zura. Do not concern yourself. I will advise which is the city to get off and which is not a city not to get off at. I've been running this train for many, many years. I know my way around these parts.
How did you come across this job?
I would, without wishing to bore you with my life history, I was a conductor on the Orient Express in its early days, and when I found myself here, I found myself wanting to carry on my service, and so I made this magnificent Dreamlands Express to carry on my service as a conductor, carry on serving people by enabling them to travel from one place to another.
When was it that you were on the Orient Express?
I believe time does travel differently here. I believe it was what the year you called around the 1890s. It was a very fulfilling job. It was the most fulfilling job I ever had. Please. Time goes short and the train is to depart. If you wish, I can show you to your cabins.
Yes, sure.
So he leads you up the stairs into the pavilion, and here is a map of the train. He leads you to one of the sleeping cars, and the pavilion itself doesn't look that big from the outside. Doesn't look that big. You enter a corridor, fairly elaborate, ornate corridor. It does kind of remind you of the Orient Express corridors, with doors leading off it to various rooms. And he says, "Here are your cabins, your compartments. Please make yourselves at home. You may eat."
Maya's going to walk in and jump on the bed.
Right. I'm going to ask for a bit of player participation with this one. I'll start with Maya. What would your ideal room be? Anything you want. What would it be?
Oh god. I was going to say probably something that was nice but not like overly expensive. Somewhere where she could like work on making tools that could help her with her thieving capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And just I'm trying to think. Like just a few places that she could store like little knickknacks, like from her expeditions.
Would she have places she could hide stuff
Yes,
as well?
she would. Very much so.
You open the door, and the first thing that hits you is this room is much bigger than it should be. Even though at the far end of the room there's still a window, and you can see outside the window, the land outside the window. This room is much bigger than you would expect. And it is filled with everything that Maya wants. As you just said, places a bench to make tools with all materials that you require, a bed, a comfortable bed, places to store things, shelves and cabinets to display things. Maybe some things that Maya has stolen over the past years are on display.
Yep.
Roland Billio, when you enter your cabin, what would your ideal place be?
Well, I was thinking along the lines of, you get like your like hunting lodges kind of thing. So, like the sort of cozy, like little like Swiss cottages kind of thing. I think Gaston's like tavern, so that's sort of like warm sort of thing, but like lots of like animal skins and things like that, I suppose.
That is exactly what you see when you open your door. You see like animal skin, very expensive like animal skin rug. You see a fireplace with a roaring log fire in there. Some hunting trophies around the walls. It's like the log cabin style roof. Again, it's a lot bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, and you still see the window outside, but again, this is like your ideal room. Anything you'd ever want is in this room. Nancy.
So Nancy isn't used to having really sort of very fancy stuff, but so it's not over the top, but it is comfortable. It's got a comfortable chair for sitting and reading in. It's got a comfortable bed. It's warm. And most importantly, there's sort of a bookshelf, a well-filled bookshelf.
I think we can do better than the bookshelf. I think we can do like a proper library for you here.
Oh, let's stretch that much. Amazing. Yeah, that's exactly what
you're in the Dreamlands. You're in the Dreamlands. It's like
I'm being constrained by my normal thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so library then. Yeah, that'd be perfect for her.
Yep.
Good lighting.
Oh yeah, it's like one of those libraries. It's like one of those libraries where if you're not careful, you will get lost in the shelves.
Yeah.
And Edward, last but not least, what would Edward's ideal room be? We can go. Sorry, carry on.
Probably a recreation of the room he had back in Canada before he had to leave due to circumstances.
Okay. Would that be the room he grew up in? Or
yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's a perfect copy of the room at your parents' house that you spent the first years of your life. We'll ask Major Mercy what his is when he returns, but he would open the door and he would find his perfect room in there. Henri says to you, Mesdames, Messieurs, I trust your compartments are to your liking. There is time for you to settle in. You may explore the train at your leisure. You may wander anywhere you wish. The first banquet will be in a few hours' time, but do not concern yourself. To get to the banquet, simply go through that door. If you wish to have a relaxing stroll before you eat, the train will be a long journey to the banquet. If you wish to get there quickly, it will be a short journey to the banquet.
Are there any places we should not go?
No. Everywhere is available for you to go. Just if you're heading towards the front, towards the engine, be very careful. Please do not disturb the drivers that are on duty there. But apart from that, feel free to wander the train as you wish.
Very well.
And if you need my services, simply call out my name, and Henri will be here.
Very well.
That she leaves you. What would you like to do? As you arrange yourselves and settle in, the train starts to move. You feel like a gentle rumbling under your feet, but it's very smooth. It's almost as if almost barely noticeable. And the landscape outside your window starts to move as the train moves off.
Maya's going to look out the window, and does it remind her of when she was on that other train?
Oh, yeah.
The black void outside, the grey void outside the window.
Aye.
Nothing like that, no. What you're looking at now is just like farmlands, arable areas. You see like some farmers, you see the occasional horse and cart going along a road alongside. It's all very homely, all very picture postcard.
Maya just kind of breathes a sigh of relief.
So, what would you like to do?
Maya would probably freshen up first. After probably, going to say there would be like a gym in her room as well.
Of course.
So she's going to like do a bit of exercise on that, just stretch out kind of thing, and then freshen up, and then probably head towards the banquet hall.
Of course.
Looking to make fuss of any cats she finds on the route.
You do have maps. I would say that you have maps of the express inside your doors, and you do see like various things like bathhouse, men's saloon. You see the banquet hall. You see the ladies' parlor. The cats are marked at the back. It's all very luxurious. All very ostentatious. Very opulent. Anybody else like to do anything? Like to go exploring on the train?
Sure.
Where would you like to go, Edward?
That's strange because when I was at the library, the men's saloon.
Very well. The men's saloon is. Do you want to take a long time to get to the men's saloon, or do you want to take a short time to get to the men's saloon? It's literally like how long it takes to get to these carriages is really up to you guys. How much time you want to spend, whether you want a relaxing stroll or you want to get there quickly. It's entirely up to you.
I mean, I suppose could take the long way round and see.
Did I not? Did my? I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I came through or.
Didn't catch that, I'm afraid. No.
Yeah, the men's saloon.
Yeah, we've got the men's saloon. I'm just asking if you want to take a long time to get there, or if you want to get there quickly.
A long time.
Okay, so you have a casual stroll through various carriages. You pass sleeping car. You pass through the bathhouse, and you reach the men's saloon. And inside the men's saloon, it reminds you of. Would Edward have ever been to Edward has been to Egypt, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It reminds you of like an Egyptian what's the best way of saying this? It's very ostentatious. You see hookers standing ready, pipes standing ready. You see racks and racks of bottles of various coloured drinks. On one end, all along one wall, you see steaming racks of venison, ribs of beef, gigantic loaves of brown bread on a sideboard. It's like the place where it's a place where people come to just like be opulent, just be ostentatious, just to relax and fill out with anything they want. And I would say that as you are here, you see one of the people you saw on the platform. You see the man in the Scottish tweed with the bulging suitcase, which never leaves his side, and he's just like reclining on one of the sofas with a hookah pipe in his mouth. You see smoke coming out of it. As you enter, he says, new faces. Welcome. Please come join me."
Yes, of course.
It is so nice to meet new people. My name is Mackenzie, or you can call me Mac. Who do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Edward Beatty.
That name is familiar to me. Edward Beatty. You were you not on an Egyptian expedition with Howard Carter?
I was.
Oh, it is an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet yours as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, my career is not as illustrious. I am a mere courier, delivering diplomatic documents between England and France. And you, Monsieur, turning to Roland, who do I have the honour of addressing?
It's to me, wasn't it?
It's to you, yes.
Yeah. I'm Roland Billiot.
And I detect you are French yourself. No.
Yeah, oui, monsieur.
Oh, it is an absolute pleasure to meet you. Both of you sitting next to him. Can both of you, Edward and Roland, make me spot hidden rolls, please?
Mm-hmm.
Just remember how to get my character sheet.
Failure from Edward. Okay, you notice that the briefcase that he has, it never leaves his side. He's always holding on to it. And you can see it's like stuffed with papers. In fact, papers like coming out of the seams.
It does seem an odd thing to be carrying in a dream world.
Oh, this is merely some of my baggage that I brought with me. It is of no consequence. I hope to be able to liberate myself of it at the end of this trip.
Ah, so that's your token. You're going all the way to the end.
That is correct. Yes. Why not? Yes. And while I'm here, that's what that chappie Henry advised me to do, and it makes sense. There's some things in here I need to let go of. Although I intend to enjoy myself along the journey. I intend to get off at some of these stations and see what they have to offer. Maybe get off at Son and Neil and learn what they learn from their poets there. There is time. With that, let's return to Nancy and Maya. How are you two spending your time?
Nancy is absolutely fascinated about where she is, and she's gone to have a look in her library and see if she can find any sort of guidebooks or information about particularly the next city that she's coming to.
Ooh, interesting. A lot of the titles on here are titles from your memory. As such,
Okay.
they may not be exactly as they were in the waking world. You can't really find much about the Dreamlands. However, make me an education roll. Give me an education roll to see if you
Find
remember.
it.
Oh, yeah. Oh no! Wow.
Oh, well, if that's where I'm going to roll that's probably the best
That's
time
probably the
to do
best one.
it.
That's probably the best one. Yep.
Yeah.
You
That's
feel
a fumble, isn't it?
you see like some books in the library and the titles on them are blurred. And it's like
Okay.
you know like when you can kind of remember a book or reading something but you can't quite remember the title or much about it. That's what these books represent. These represent books that can't quite remember.
Okay.
Maya, are you happy to, as you said, work out in the gym a bit, then head towards the banquet hall?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Okay.
I'll knock on anyone else's door as I'm passing, not necessarily knowing they're not in. Asking if they want to join.
As you do, or as you exit your compartment heading towards the banquet hall, you do hear like the voice of Henri. Don't see where it's coming from. It says, "Mesdames, Messieurs, passengers of the train, the first banquet is due to start in the banquet hall momentarily. Please join us. Please join us for a sumptuous evening of wonderful food."
Maya will kind of start heading towards it.
On hearing this, for Edward and Roland, Mac will say, "Well, that sounds like it's time for my dinner. The food on this train is amazing. I do recommend it." Everybody moves to the banqueting hall. As you enter the banqueting hall, it's a magnificent hall, vaulted ceiling, tables, candles, chairs. It's not like the dining room on the Orient Express at all. It's like more like a palatial banquet hall. And as you sit down, in front of you there are glasses filling with water, glasses filling with wine, and in front of you is a menu. Show you the menu. The welcoming banquet menu. Cream of turtle soup, grilled elephant pads stuffed with truffles and sweetbreads, spit roasted pheasant, quail and partridge, boar's head a la mode, fruits, nuts and spices from Sidarthian groves, sauces prepared by the subtlest cooks, suited to the palate of every feaster, pearls from wave-washed metal dissolved in the vinegar of Thrace, the wines of Sarub, Implan, the Carthian Hills, and Mount Aran, the Zug Moon Tree wine. And around you, you see other passengers, Mac, for example, Mac, and they just like call out their choices from the menu, and they appear in front of them.
I'm gonna call Henri over if he's about.
Oh, Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle, Monsieur, Madame, Mademoiselle, Henri is here. How may I help you?
Yes, a lot of these places we don't actually know. What would you recommend? It all sounds very tasty.
Oh, Mademoiselle, that's a question. I'm partial to the spit-roasted pheasant myself. In the world, I was always partial to some partridge, to game birds, and spit-roasted pheasant is one of my favourites.
I might try that. And to drink?
What
are these pearls from the wave-washed metal dissolved in the vinegar of Thrace?
a very tangy flavour, sir. The wines are, Mademoiselle. I will get there one day. Mademoiselle, it's because you dress in like I imagine like my like kind of like dresses in like trousers and a shirt and like
It's suit, basically.
yes, yeah. Mademoiselle, a very tangy flavour for that, and the wines are excellent. However, Zugmundschü wine I would advise caution with. It has got a very powerful kick to it, and if you're not careful, it will put you out for quite a while.
I'll try that then.
Very well, and everybody else. And in front of you, you see. Sorry, carry on. I'll let you order first.
No, you carry on.
Sorry. I say as soon as Maya, you say the spit roasted pheasant, it appears in front of you like steaming. It smells delicious.
Place sure is weird.
Roland.
Well, he'd probably be very interested in, obviously, I suppose, the boar more than anything because of having, butcher and butchering. I will say though, out of game was my, way back. I told you that my first ever game I played was Arkham Horror.
Yep.
The first ever D&D game I ever played. There was something to do with the food, which came back later, so I'm very wary. Because it all depended on what we chose with the food. It came back to haunt us later.
Oh, no.
Literally.
No.
What we chose food-wise. So I am very wary about this food.
Of course,
as
of
a
course.
player.
Of course. Actually, that is... While you're all here sitting, eating, and you boar is in front of you, and your cook's senses... It's interesting. You can't identify it, but there is something interesting about it. Something in the way that it was roasted, something in the sauce. Gives you some ideas you might want to try at some point.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a side from here while we've mentioned that. Just the dream world, the dreamlands work slightly differently to the waking world. If you look at your character sheets, I don't know if you spotted already, you have 2 new skills added: dreaming and dream lore. On the bottom right of your sheet.
I hadn't, but yes.
Yeah.
So these are 2 new skills that work in the Dreamlands. Dreaming is your skill as a dreamer to be able to conjure up items. So like if you want something like if you wanted a gun that doesn't normally exist in the Dreamlands, you would use your dreaming skill to try and conjure it up. Dream lore is how much you know about the Dreamlands as a whole, and of course you don't know much because you've just arrived. But these are skills that can improve as you continue in the Dreamlands. Also worth pointing out, you cannot die in the Dreamlands. If you take damage, if something were to happen to you, you take damage. When you wake up, the damage is reset. And then when you next enter the Dreamlands, you start at your full health. If you in the Dreamlands, you don't die, but it does mean that you wake up and you can never enter the Dreamlands again.
Mm.
So there are some extra rules for the Dreamlands, but essentially, if the important ones are you have the 2 new skills, dreaming and dream lore. If you take damage in the Dreamlands, when you wake up, the damage is gone, and when you fall asleep again, your damage is reset. Sanity still works as normal because your mind makes it real, but apart from that, you can't really die while you're in the dream.
I suppose it's a bit like with a video game and you do a side quest, don't you? Like with Sonic and the rings, you go and get the rings.
And then you come back
you
and
have like the little, and then you come back to the real world, but it like doesn't affect,
it's like that,
kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's carry on. Edward Beatty, what would you like? What would you eat from this very intriguing menu?
Well, I can't really go how I do it in real life with just choosing the least expensive thing on the menu.
Well, there's no prices. It's all free. It's all free. There's no money here.
The fruits, nuts, and spices.
Okay. And in front of you appears a platter of fragrant fruits and nuts. Some you recognise, some you don't. Some have an interesting taste to them. Some have a unique taste to them. Some of them taste familiar. And Nancy.
Nancy's going to go for the game as well and have pheasant and things, and expecting it to sort of taste like sort of game pie that she had when she was growing up before she went off to boarding school, or that kind of thing.
Tastes better than that. You know how your memory makes it a billion times better than what it may have actually been. It's like that. It's like that. As you are eating, Edward, you feel something nuzzling against your leg.
Mm.
And you hear like a little purr. And it's the kitten, the little black kitten with the white paws,
Hello.
nuzzling up your leg. Makes a little mewing noise and looks like it wants to be picked up.
I pick it up.
And it just like nuzzles into your lap and just like falls asleep. After a few minutes of this, Henri comes over and goes, "Oh, monsieur, I am so sorry. This little one here should not be here." And the little kitten wakes up and like meows at Henri, and Henri meows back. It sounds like they're having a conversation. I've told this little one that he must return to his mother. I will take him back. I do not wish to be a burden to you.
Oh no, it's quite all right.
Of course, monsieur. Of course, if you are sure. This little one's name is Snowpaw.
Snowpaw, a wonderful name.
Just as long as he's returned to his mother Sophie in the cat compartment before too long. And Snowpaw just like goes back to sleep again on your lap. After the meal is finished, and it's one of those things. It just like there's no rush. It just like take it. If you wanted to take hours, it takes hours. If you wanted to take it a short time, it takes a short time. As you look around, you see Mac is tucking into a big steaming boar's head. You see the other man with a neatly clipped moustache and beard tucking into. He's also eating the pheasants. You see the lady, the Elizabethan dressed lady, picking at a plate of vegetables. She looks very severe, and she looks like she's on the table on her own.
What's the sort of atmosphere in the room? Is it like, are people talking to each other, or mainly just getting on with eating?
It's a mix, actually. That those who want to talk are talking. Those who want to just eat are eating. It's very mixed. It's very mixed.
And is it like if Nancy was to try and sort of overhear sort of nearby conversations and do some eavesdropping, what sort of is there a particular theme among what people are talking about?
It's all very mixed. You hear some people like Mac is like talking about the Great War to anybody who will listen. The man with the black beard and the black moustache he's not really talking to anybody. The Elizabeth lady is just like studiously ignoring anybody. You hear like various conversations about various things in history. Conversations, probably some conversations like talking about latest fashions from some of the cities that they're traveling to. You hear some mentions of the Orient Express itself. Mac himself says to someone, "Yes, I'm on the Orient Express at this moment, and this is my final trip before I resign." It's all like various different types of conversation from various historical things.
Probably should have asked this earlier. Does everyone seem to be in like historical to us costumes? Or is there people looking in like weird costumes that don't make much sense but would be like futuristic costume? Would be like from the future?
Yes, all of those.
All of them. Cool.
The Dreamlands are kind of beyond time.
Yeah. I just thought I'd check.
at the end of the meal, after everybody is fully satisfied, and there is no skimming here. Everybody has as much as they want to have, more left over. Little snow poured in your lap, Edward. He yawns and stretches his paws a bit.
I just pet him.
And eventually, those of you looking out the window, you see that the train is approaching another city. Back to the map. And Henri's voice again comes. It says, "Mesdames, Messieurs, we are arriving at the city of Dailathleen. You may, if you wish to disembark the train here, explore the city. I would advise you to be careful. The inhabitants here are not as perhaps not as welcoming or not as kind as the inhabitants of Ulthar, but feel free to explore as you wish. The train will be here for a short while we take on some more passengers, some more supplies. Please prepare to arrive at Dailathleen."
I look to Edward and say, "Do you think we should be returning this kitten to its mother?"
Yes.
Snowpaw stretches again and allows you to pick him up, carry him, and you journey to the compartment on the map, the cat's compartment. And cat's compartment is right at the end of the train. And as you get there, you see it's just like cats everywhere lounging across all the furniture, hanging off tapestries, and they look up at you and they know that you're a cat lover, Edward. And one of the cats, resemblance between this cat and Snowpaw, will be his mother, and she looks at you expectantly, doing a little meow.
Hello, here's your kitten.
And the little kitten lands on the floor and it runs to its mother, and the mother just like nuzzles it, and the kitten nuzzles its mother. And she meows at you, and you get the feeling she's saying, "Thank you for bringing him back."
You're welcome.
So the train, the Dreamlands Express, arrives at Dailathleen, and this city is much different to Ulthar, where Ulthar was very homely, very cozy, very warm, with its chimneys and its overhanging like floors and sort of like cozy style of architecture. Dailathleen is much different. It's made up of thin, angular towers made up of black basalt here as well. You see it is a coastal city. You see ships in the port. You see traders riding. You see traders, you see elephants pulling carts of various things. Some identifiable, some unidentifiable. You see traders wearing very different clothing, things that you've never seen before. You see many like sea taverns, downtrodden, dismal sea taverns along the front. You see everybody. It seems like a very grey city, and everybody is very careful. Everybody here, like looking around with suspicion, looking around, on their surroundings. And the train pulls up a platform made of black basalt.
So,
So if you wish to, you may disembark here to explore the city.
Are we getting off here, or are we...
Henri said we could, and I would like to see the city, but I also feel we should be getting back to the Orient Express soon as well.
But he was also saying time doesn't work the same way here.
True.
So why not go for a little explorer? See what we see.
Yep.
I think we need to make note of how we get back, though, to this train.
Henri, do you have any kind of tips on how we get back here?
Oh, Monsieur, just
Mademoiselle.
Oh, Mademoiselle, I would simply just follow the route back. The way back to the station is very clearly marked. It's very obvious. I would warn you. I would warn you to guard your persons. The people here are not very hospitable. So,
Well, I think we stay as a group then.
I would be most comfortable with.
you should be safe, but please be on your guard.
Mm.
As you climb down the steps from the train, again, it's those like tentacle steps with the red carpet. You see that other tentacles start to pull out crates filled with cabbages and wool, and leave them on and put them onto carts that are then taken into the city. Dilathlene itself is a very, very grey city. It's a very industrial city. The streets are filled with various people, like various traders. Some of them crying out their wares, some of them looking very surreptitious. You see many people dressed in black cloaks. You see various shapes and sizes, some of which you don't associate normally with people. You see many different bars and inns and taverns, some of them proudly advertising their services, some of them more dingy, some of them the sort of thing that you wouldn't really go into unless you had good reason to go into. A very uneasy, gives you a sense of unease, but there seems to be a major trade centre for whatever is being traded here. Various jewels, various stones, various spices, foods, vegetables. And around you do see some sort of police force trying to keep the peace, like breaking up fights, sniffing out drunks, that sort of thing. So there is some sort of law enforcement here.
I didn't expect me to be saying this, but I'm glad there is some sort of law enforcement here. I feel a bit uneasy.
Is there any obvious sort of like market? I know you said it was a trading port.
Yeah.
But is there? I assume that was sort of more like a big scale trading thing. Is there a market or?
Yeah, there would be a market here. Yeah.
Antiques thing. I'm gonna go and look and see if anyone has any sort of statues for sale.
I'll say, make me a luck roll.
I think I rolled the wrong thing.
There we go. Luck success. Okay, so you do find various statues, statue sellers. Things you don't recognise, some things that look religious. Figures with wearing elaborate robes. Figures wearing not very much. You see humanoid figures. You see winged figures. Things you don't recognise. All sorts of things here.
Anything that looks like it would fit with the part of the thing that I cannot say the name of.
No, you don't see anything like that here.
Worth a try.
There's a long shot.
No, I like the thinking. No, I do like the thinking.
Are there any like books on I don't know the occult or anything, or like remedies or to do with I don't know, curing curses or something, or odd ailments?
Could you make me a luck roll, please? Sadly, you don't. Ooh, wow, you definitely don't find. You definitely don't find any. You don't really. The books you find are in a language you do not understand.
There.
Edward.
All the while, Maya is kind of keeping her eyes on people trying to pick hers or anyone else's in the party's pockets.
Edward, Roland, how are you doing in this?
Edward's okay. He's pretty much there. That was a mastodon I did see in the picture, wasn't it?
Yes, it's an elephant. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Just staring slack-jawed.
And Roland.
I'm just enjoying the scenery and everything like that. Obviously, the biggest, so keeping an eye out
Of course.
on the group as well.
Roland, make me a spot hidden roll. Nice. You see a drunk person staggering along very close to you, almost as if he's going to bump into you. In fact, he does bump into you and backs up and looks at you and like starts shouting at you in a language you don't understand.
I suppose just say sorry. Is there any way we can sort of translate? Is it sort of like in the dream world where you sort of instantly know?
A dream
Doctor
world.
Who, the bit of paper
Sadly not.
says what
Sadly
they
not.
need.
Sadly not. No, the many languages are spoken in the Dreamlands, and not all of them are known to everybody. But he just like starts like shouting in your face. He's obviously been drunk. You can smell some sort of alcohol on his breath.
I don't know, just do the very polite thing of apologising and walk away.
He gives up after a while and just like starts and bumps into somebody else and starts berating somebody else, and they just like start getting into a big argument.
I'll also just check myself that I've still got everything in my pockets, because sometimes that's a very
Good thinking. Good thinking.
thingy technique, isn't it? It's a
Yep.
thief technique to bump into you.
Well, because you got an extreme success, wow, on your spot hidden. Don't forget to tick that off. That's still a thing here. Don't forget to check off your spot hidden. But because you got an extreme success, you look down and nothing was taken. Nothing was taken.
Okay, that's good.
That language, not that Nancy's travelled an awful lot, but does it sound like a language that was from Earth? Like, I don't know, some kind of Arabic or anything remotely familiar?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't sound like. If you wanted to pin it down, maybe something of Arabic, but it's just like nothing that you might have ever heard before. And time approaches that Henri told you that the express would be beginning to leave again.
No, we should head back. As exotic as this place is, something about it that just has me on edge.
So you easily find your way back to the platform, and as you board the train, you see some passengers getting off. You see some of the cats getting off, but there are also passengers boarding the train. You see one man in particular who as you see him, he has pallid skin, dark hair. You glance at his eyes, and his eyes are just an expanse of yellow. He has no pupil or iris. And he's there with Henri, and he hands Henri a bottle. And Henri takes the bottle, nods, and this man climbs aboard. You also see 6 people. They look human, boarding, but they're all very statuesque. They're all very beautiful. They're probably the 6 most beautiful people you've ever seen in your lives. 3 men and 3 women. All like shining blonde hair. They're all wearing. The women are wearing like silk gowns, sheer silk gowns, and the men are wearing open silk tops, exposing their chests. And they all travel together in a group, and they look over at you, and some of the women start giggling. One of the men
gives a friendly wave back.
One of the men looks over at you, and he looks back at his companions. They start giggling as well. But he comes over to you, and he approaches you, Nancy. He says, "You are a stranger to the Dreamlands, I believe. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Theophed of Sarnath. Perhaps you've heard of me."
I'm sorry, sir, I have not. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
"Oh, the pleasure is mine. The pleasure is all mine. It is rare to find such exquisite beauty and intriguing intelligence in the Dreamlands."
Thank you, sir. I don't know how you know this after only seeing me from a distance.
It is easy to tell. Some people you can just tell. You know what I mean? Are you journeying with us on the Express?
Yes, we will be.
In which case, my companions and I will be pleased to have you join us in our cabin.
I believe. Let me introduce my traveling companions, and I introduce everyone else.
And he greets them, but it's like, his attention is fully focused on you rather than anybody else.
We would be pleased to spend some time with you and learn more of this land. Did you say you were native to the Dreamlands?
Yes, we are from the city of Sarnath, the grand city of Sarnath in the south. We are here on a diplomatic mission to Iranian to meet with the king there. It is some domestic matter that draws us here, but we take what we can. We take what pleasures we can from it. And he turns, as he says it. Sorry, I'll let you speak first, before I carry.
I was going to say it seems to be a fascinating place. I've never come across anywhere like it.
Oh well, you must make time. I'm sure if you travel here, if you travel here more, you'll see the delights of it. And then he turns around, and his face twists into a grimace as he's seen something else approaching along the platform.
Can I follow his eye? Can I see what it is that he's grimacing at?
See 6 squat beings, green, slimy. Their appearance suggests toad, frog, lizard, slimy things. They all look identical, and he just looks at them with utter disgust, and he says, "Ah, I see the other delegates in our diplomatic disputes have arrived. Look at them. Are they not just worthy of extermination? Are they not just abominable, worthy only of extermination?"
What are they? I've never seen creatures like them before.
They are from a place called Ib, and they claim that we massacred them and stole their city. We did no such thing. Of course, such a thing, if we had done such a thing, merited. I mean, look at them. They are hideous things. They do not deserve to live.
What are they? Do they have consciousness? Are they able to talk?
They're able to talk to each other, I guess. They communicate with outsiders. One of them has some sort of thing that he uses that they use to communicate with outsiders, but they are not worthy of our attention. We are only here at the request of the King of Seranian. If it were down to us, we would not be here. We would be enjoying ourselves somewhere else, but it is only because of the King of Seranian's request that we are here with these things. So I can show you a picture of what you're seeing, actually.
Yes.
I'll show you some pictures. So this is Theophed, to whom you're currently conversing.
Oh, very androgynous.
Oh, they remind me of Asma.
Yeah.
I can show you I can show you, and this is the creature he is drawing your attention to.
Well, they're kind of cute in an ugly way.
Does Maya say that?
Yes.
Yeah. They're very sort of creature of the deep, aren't they? Amphibious.
Yeah, they are. Yep. But the Henri does call for people to board, and Theophed leaves you and returns back to his companions. They board the train. The beings of it board somewhere further down. You can just like smell them from where you are. It is a horrible stench. The man with the yellow eyes, he also boards. Do you also board yourselves?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So once you've all boarded, Henri gives a signal for the train to depart. But as the train starts to move off, as the express starts to move off, all these creatures, another figure appears at the end of the platform and starts running after the train. You can see it seems to be a young woman running after the train. She runs the length of the platform, and then you see her jump, and she manages to grab hold of one of the tentacles as it trails from the train, trying to pull herself aboard the train.
Henri, is there anything that we can do to help this young lady who seems to be... Can we slow down or help her get onto the train?
She would be. I'm expecting this person. She's able to get on without any trouble. Though she may appreciate some help if someone were to help her, but she is able to get on herself. If the tentacles will help her get on the train.
Maya's going to try and go along one of the tentacles to give her a hand if possible.
She gratefully accepts it. I'm not going to make you roll for this. She gratefully accepts it. Between you and the tentacles, you manage to drag her on board one of the pavilions, and she is incredibly grateful. She says, "Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you. 1,000 thanks to you. My name is Zusa. I am a world-renowned dancer of the Dreamlands, and tomorrow night I will dance for you. My gratitude for you helping me is such that I will dance for you."
Oh, that's very kind of you. You just looked like you needed a bit of help. I thought I'd offer.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. And with that, the train departs. Carries on for the next station. Now, there is an option here. Actually, no. As you carry on back to your cabin, the train carries on the journey. Can you all make me spot hiddens? This is like sometime later now as you're walking back to your carriage, your compartments. Can everybody make me a spot hidden, please?
To roll for you.
Yeah, you can do.
God, I'm rolling terribly tonight.
Roland, hard success. Very good.
Well, considering that I opened with a 98 tonight, I'm
For now.
It can't get any worse. I like the cats at the bottom of this map as well. That's quite cute. Am I missing? I've got everybody go. So, Nancy, Edward, and Roland, you're walking back to your cabbages. You suddenly smell something horrible. You look around, and wedged into the ceiling in a corner of the ceiling is you see one of those creatures, one of the Ibians, stuck there.
I shout up to it. I was like, "Can you understand me? Do you need help?"
Just looks at you. Just looks at you. And it looks like it's not able to get down by itself.
I shout for Henri.
Oui, mademoiselle, Henri is here.
This creature appears stuck.
Oh, shakes his head. I had hoped those people would just behave themselves on the train. Sadly, it is not to be. Can I have a hand here to get this poor creature down?
Sure. What do you need us to do?
Just help me grab. I'll grab one side of it. You grab the other side of it. And we'll try and unstick him.
Roland, can you give me a boost, please?
Yeah.
So, Roland quite easily boosts Maya up to the creature. Henri's on the other side trying to unstick him. I require Maya
Mhm.
a Constitution roll
Mhm.
first of all.
Hey, first success of the night.
You manage to steel yourself against the horrible stench and slimy feel of the creature, and between you and Henri, you're able to like put him down, and he comes down with a loud as it comes off the ceiling. Henri says, "I must take this creature back to its compartment." Hopefully,
Please, when the meal comes around tonight, give them a drink on us and their meals.
you are most kind. You're most kind, mademoiselle. He leads the creature away, and the stench still lingers. And you feel like you really need a bath after that. Really need a bath because that was not pleasant.
They're still cute.
I want to wake up. Wake up.
I could if I wanted.
So, yeah, you have the option now of waking up at this stage or staying in the dream a bit longer. As I say, when you wake up, whatever stage you wake up, you will be back on the Orient Express, heading to. Let's say time works differently here. So, if you wish to return to the waking world, you can do now, or if you wish to, you can carry on a bit further in the dream, or return to the dream at a later time.
Should we wait until Richard gets back before we continue exploring this much further?
Yes.
I think you'd quite enjoy this.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, you wake up in your cabins. Actually, you wake up to a knocking on your door as you wake up back in your cabins in the Orient Express. You wake up. I'm going to move us back to the Orient Express. Back then. Or would you like to defer the decision for next time?
Shall we defer it until next time? I think this is a reasonable place to stop, don't you? I mean, I'm happy to go with what everyone else wants to do as well, though. But
Because
I don't mind
it's
either way.
a shame that Richard had to miss tonight, but yeah. So what we'll do is we'll call a halt to the session here. I know it's only a short session, but we'll call a halt to it here, and we can say next time. We can probably pick up with a bit more of the dream next time, actually, because some big things are going to happen in the dream world, which you won't want to miss. So we will stop. We will call a halt to it here. So we're going to go around again, like asking people what they enjoyed about the session. But for this one, I'm going to do something I came across in another game. Stars and wishes. So stars are things that you enjoy about the session, about the game. Wishes are things you'd like to see more of. So let's try that, see how that goes. So we'll start with One Winged Angel.
oh, now I must admit this is one of the sessions I've really enjoyed it. It's been weird because I know Cthulhu's supposed to be quite creepy and all that, but this is the first session we've had where I've properly felt just ever so slightly unsettled, if that makes sense. I think anything that messes with time and how long it takes to get there, it's just something about it that, not anything that I'm not willing to play more with, but there's just something about it that sets me a little bit on edge, if that makes sense, and I've quite enjoyed that.
H.P. Lovecraft wasn't all like creepy things. He also did a lot of other stuff. He was a great cat lover, which is why there's a huge emphasis on cats.
Yeah, I was going to say I've liked all the cats.
Yeah,
Is that your wishes, more cats?
Yeah, more cats.
And he also wrote a lot about this world called the Dreamlands. In fact, a lot of these places that we've been to now, I can tell you what stories a lot of them come from. And it's not really spoilers. For example, let's go to Sarah, and I'll say a bit more about that. Sarah, what was your star for the evening?
I've absolutely loved being in a totally different world that is, totally different. Doesn't have normal worlds. Time's going backwards and forwards. Totally alien creatures. I'm also quite interested to see how this actually then, in subsequent sessions, influences what's going on the Orient Express as well. Like, I found it really, really interesting.
So,
and I think it's not a specific, more wishes, but just like more of this. I've really enjoyed it.
Awesome, thank you. This is one of the trickier parts of the campaign, trying to make this transition to. Yeah, there is some interesting stuff here. And just to say, when I asked for Nancy's spot hidden in the library, the book you would have found would have been a copy of the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath, written by H.P. Lovecraft. Timey-wimey would have been later than this date, but you would have had it in your library, and it would have been a lot of this stuff happen. A lot of this stuff comes up in there. Not the Dreamland Express itself, but a lot of the cities come up in there. In fact, that's why I was reaching for Dialathine. Was a lot of that comes up in that book, so that's where I was reaching for that from.
That's one that I've read, and I remember all the cats in that.
Yeah,
that is what you said at the beginning, actually.
The other one, the one about Ulthar, where no man may kill a cat, that is the actual story, the Cats of Ulthar. What happened in that? Steam Chew, let's turn to you.
Not. I can't really sort of make it much difference to what's already been said. I've enjoyed this. It sort of brought back, like I say, sort of remembering from that first ever game that I had. It does make me very, very wary on some things. It does make me very, very wary. Also, it's clicked into place as well about how obviously we're on this dream train, and the whole campaign started off about this other train.
Yep.
Which comes out of nowhere. Makes me think that this train might be connected to that. So it's interesting to see where it might go.
And Brian.
Well, I liked the cats.
Snowpaw, your new buddy Snowpaw.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Not sure what else to say. The cats were the highlight.
Just to say, like you said, there's a connection. The connection is, I'll tell you this as players, and it doesn't really affect the story very much. Henri, you know that Henri died in the real world. You read that in the diary. You played that in the diary.
Yeah.
He was a dreamer. He was a frequent visitor to the Dreamlands, and when he died, he was able to cross over to the Dreamlands. And his love for the Orient Express was such that he was able to make this Dreamlands Express. And he made all these bargains to be able to run it, like the bargains with the cats, the bargains about casting off your fears, and that's, you can't board again. And he also tied it to the actual Orient Express itself. So people who fall asleep on the Orient Express have the opportunity to work to to ride the Dreamlands Express, and that's the main connection.
That's cool. How did Henri die again?
He died in a fire rescuing passengers.
Right.
Which is why he's wearing the silk gloves and the porcelain mask. Yeah, I've really loved it as well. I was a bit wary about this one because it is such a change of pace from the main campaign, but I think you picture it really well. It's confusing at first, and I think it's designed to be confusing at first because you're suddenly flung into this dream thing and what's going on, but I think you've all taken to it really well. I think the cats helped. Yeah, I mean, obviously I know where it's going to go from here, but I'm interested to see how we do from here. I think it's going to be really interesting. As I say, you have the choice. This scenario, this part of the certain scenario, doesn't have to be done all at once. You can come back to it at different points of the campaign, if you wish to.
Yeah.
But if we choose to, we can go through the whole bit of it now as well.
Yes.
Oh, too much.
So I think next time we can probably play the next part of this part, and then probably see from there where we want to go.
That makes sense.
That will be in December the 9th. That will be. So, with that, our investigators' journey continues on a very different type of express. So we'll see what happens to them next time.